All right, guys, we are coming right along with our knowledge and place values. So let's do a little review. Let's write this in word form. So go ahead and pause the video and write this in word form. That means writing this out just as you say it in words. Okay, so I'm going to remind you, we chunk it out just like we would a big word. 4,653,214. So we read these parts as if they were completely by themselves. So 4 million. You read these three numbers in the middle just like you would if you saw those numbers all by themselves. 653,214. Well, I will write that out. 4 million. 4 million. 653 thousand 214. Check in with a friend. Prove to your friend that you wrote this correctly. If you made a mistake, show a friend, hey, I forgot to throw the 1,000 in there. And if you can come over, give yourself a +1 if you made a mistake and an extra +1 for fixing it. All right, and now we are going to review expanded form. So remember, expanded form, the purpose of expanded form is to show that you truly understand the value of every one of these. So feel free, you can start in the ones place and expand up, or you can start in the millions place and expand down. Sometimes I feel like it's easier to start in the ones place and go that way, but that's just me. Some people like to do the stair-step method where they start in the millions place and then just replace all the other numbers with zeros and nicely line them up so they don't miss any zeros. So I'll show you that way. So pause the video though, go ahead, do it on your own, and then watch the way I do it and see if you got them right. Okay, you're back. Hopefully you have had some success or got help from a friend. So 4 is in the millions place, which represents that we have 4 1 millions, and that added together makes 4 million. I move to the hundred thousands place. So we have hundred thousands place, but we have 6 of them. So 6 100,000s would add up to 6,000. Then we move on to the 10,000s place. So this is the place value spot we're in, 10,000, but we have 5 of them. So we would have 5 10,000s. So that added up will make 50,000. Then we move to the thousands place, and we are in the thousands place. We have 3 1,000s in that place value spot, which means we have 3,000. Move to the hundreds place, but we have 2 100s. So that means we have 200. The tens place, guess what? We have 110, which means we have 110. And finally, the ones place, which we have 4 ones. Well, 4 ones added up make 4. So all of these together, this shows expanded form. It shows we truly understand each place value spot and what that value represents. Okay, now we are back and we are going to start our rounding. So when we round, in 3rd grade, our focus is largely going to be on rounding to the nearest tens or the nearest hundreds. So tens or hundreds. So, but we can round up to the millions place, the billions place, the trillions place. We can, so if we think about the population of Chicago, most people say we have over 3 million people who live in Chicago. So That's kind of rounding. There's an exact number of people who live in Chicago, but nobody wants to hear that there's 3,976,432 people living in Chicago. It's easier to speak in terms when they're rounded or estimated. So in this case, in Chicago, we would round in saying that Chicago has about 3 million people if we're rounding to the nearest millions. But we're going to focus first on rounding to the tens. So I want you to, out loud, so I hear you counting around the room, count by tens, but don't forget to start at 0. 0 is our place spot, and sometimes, believe it or not, you will round down to 0. So I always want you to start counting by 0. So 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, and so on. Don't stop counting out loud till you get to 240. All right, hopefully you have made it all the way to 240, counting by tens, to get your brain focused on thinking in terms of 10. And the rule in rounding is that you are going to go to the number that it's closest to. So that's why we do that little activity. When I say rounding, you quickly get yourself closest to the person, get yourself closest to the person that's closest to you. So if we think about the number, let's do the number 13. I want you to visualize the number line, okay? But visualize it going in forms of tens. And we go 0, 10, 20, and 30. And visualize where 13 falls on that number line of tens. So it doesn't go in between 0 and 10. I would say it would fall right about there is where my 13 would fall. And now, in order to round, I have to pick the number it's closest to. So in this case, 13 is only 3 away from 10, and it's 7 away from 20. So I can visually see also that 13 is much closer to 10, and then I also know factually that it's only 3 away and 7 away. So you can use both your eye and think about it visually and logically, or you can use the exact number to figure out which one it's closer to. Okay, and then the other thing that you need to know is there's something that happens sometimes, though, if we are rounding to a number that falls right smack dab in the middle between two tens or whatever you're rounding to. So in this case, if you're thinking of our number line in terms of tens, we have 0, 10, 20. I know 15 needs to fall right smack dab in the middle between 10 and 20. So that's a little off, but we're going to pretend it's perfect, right smack dab in the middle. So the rule is when it falls right smack dab in the middle, you always round up. So 15, if it ever falls right smack dab in the middle, you always round to the next tens up. Okay, so let's try a few of you rounding. So go ahead and round 72. So you need to think on the number line of tens. What tens does this fall between? So if I started 50, 60, 70, and 80 would be over there. So where does my 72 fall? Right there, it falls between 70 and 80, and you need to decide which one is it closer to. Okay, if you decided that 72 rounds to 70, you were correct. 72 is only 2 away from 70, so it definitely rounds to 70. But what about if it's 75? 75 is right smack dab in the middle between 70 and 80. What do you do then? If you remember the rule, we always round up. That is correct. Okay, guys, go ahead and round these numbers. Okay, go ahead and round these numbers. Flash them to whoever I have approved as the student teacher for the day, and you can get a +1 for rounding these. Good luck.